Okay, there we go. Sorry, I don't know why oh, actually I do know why. It's because I put in anyway. I unplugged stuff on my PC, but my mic input was like I didn't know what to choose. So I had to set that again just now. But hi, welcome. We are reading the Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish, Volume 2. I hope you have a good time. I have tea. I am ready. I am also very tired in like a not like sleepy, but I woke up a couple hours ago and all of my joints hurt very much. So hopefully we can just chill and relax. I don't really gotta move a lot. And I can get as comfortable and cozy as I want to be with these streams. I could even pull up like a what is it, like an armchair if I wanted to. but but yeah, we are doing that. This is what is happening. Streams are at 6 a.m. instead of 6 p.m. for just a little while. I will get them back to 6 p.m. in a bit. As soon as my sleep schedule gets to that point. It shouldn't take too long. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been staying up for a long time. I've been sleeping a lot, and maybe that's why all my joints hurt. Who knows? I actually think it's gonna rain or something. I think the air pressure is really well. I mean, the weather is changing, so this happens during fall and winter and spring a bit. It's just summer when my joints don't hurt constantly. Actually, they do, but anyway. I have chrysanthemum tea, I think. I'm not sure if I read that right. But it's very good. I couldn't get the honey jar open though, so I used agave, which I don't know if that's gonna hurt my throat or not, but we'll see. We will see. So yes, it seems I can be heard and seen. I think we should just get started. Let me bring up my book. I forget which one it is. Which one is it? Yeah, there we go. 6. Alright. Last we left off, our boy Liu was sick because he jumped into the pool in the pond while still in his human form and stayed there for like an hour and a half. Actually, like more like 2 hours because he had just been like, no, don't drink it. And then he ran away and jumped into the pool. And now he's sick. Oh no, who's gonna help him recover? What are we going to do? Who is he gonna rely on? Oh no. Let's get started. We are on chapter 56, page 193, called Fishy Reconciliation. I don't know how well I'm gonna be reading today. As I said, I am like exhausted. I think it's just like a burnout thing. I had a lot going on this past month. So, yeah, I'm just in recovery. So, we'll see how good my reading is today. And yeah, let's just get started. Actually, I need to bring my mic over there. That's fine. That's fine. We're good. We're good. Okay. Liu had a fever, but he didn't fall asleep again. I forgot to get comfortable. Liu had a fever, but he didn't fall asleep again. He just felt weak. Prince Jing carried him all the way to the imperial physicians, unwilling to wait for him in his room. Liu, though touched, was also shocked to find out that he, a man, could be carried around so easily. God. Sob, wasn't this the Princess Carrie that he hated the most when he used to read novels? But he had already gotten on this ride, and he was too weak to complain. Wang Gonggong was staring at him with a burning gaze, along with many servants and guards. Liu nimbly gave it some thought, and couldn't think of a solution, so he just turned his head to hide. He wasn't used to it, but he also wasn't against such an embrace. He slowly put his weight on the person who was holding him and let out a long sigh of relief, leaning into them until he wasn't nervous anymore. He wondered if he had found someone he could rely on. The symptoms of his fever were still uncomfortable, but they no longer felt so unbearable. What the hell? Already? Already. Earlier, he was afraid that he might even die, but now he was even managing to keep track of other people's reactions. Leo was feeling much more optimistic about his illness being cured. Imperial Physician Shu hadn't left yet when an anxious Prince Jing suddenly rushed over with a young man in his arms. Imperial Physician Shu had felt bad that he couldn't help Prince Jing with his fish, but now there was someone he could actually cure. He helped Prince Jing put the young man down, took out the medical kit he carried with him, and checked the patient's pulse. Then he examined the young man's pale face again, thinking that he'd have a better understanding of the situation if he could see his throat, but the patient was unconscious, so it was a little inconvenient. Just as Imperial Physician Shu was about to ask Prince Jing to open the young man's mouth, the young man who had been fully asleep just a moment ago opened his dark eyes. Uh-huh. Imperial Physician, I accidentally stayed in the water for too long, Liu quietly said, his voice rough. He already knew the cause of his illness, and he was afraid that he might actually fall asleep again and delay the diagnosis, so he woke up, in quotes, to quickly tell the Imperial Physician. Imperial Physician Shu had never seen such a proactive patient before. He couldn't help but smile as he said, "This Gongji is suffering from a cold, yes? The high fever hasn't subsided, but his energy levels are fine. It seems the illness is severe, but there is no danger to his life. He needs to be carefully taken care of." Of course he does. Much more confident now, Imperial Physician Shu wrote a prescription. Prince Jing... What the hell? Okay, wait, what? I looked up and lost my place. Yeah. Prince Jing ordered Wang Ji to make it at once. The servants had finished cleaning up his room already, so Prince Jing stubbornly carried Liu all the way back. Liu was getting carried around so much that his anger had deflated completely. Prince Jing put Liu down on the bed and was about to change Liu's clothes, but Liu opened his eyes and shook his head fiercely until he made himself dizzy. Helpless in the face of his protests, Prince Jing didn't want him to feel uncomfortable, so he didn't insist on changing his clothes. Imperial Physician Shu had told him that Liu had to stay warm for the next few days, though, so Prince Jing turned around and found a gold embroidered green quilt to wrap tightly around Liu. Sorry, the next line is really silly, but I need to take a sip of tea. Oh my god. I think this might have a lot of caffeine in it. I'm nervous. It is black tea, but I don't know. I'm scared. I don't do well with caffeine, but we'll see, I guess. Liu was wrapped up like a spring roll. He was still muttering internally to himself, "How did Prince Jing know that I liked green blankets?" But the fever had turned his brain to mush. So even if he thought it was suspicious, he couldn't figure out why. Wang Ji scurried into the room with the medicine ready, but before he could put the medicine bowl down, Prince Jing snatched it out of his hands. Wang Ji's eyes twitched, and he handed Prince Jing a silver spoon. Prince Jing glanced at Wang Ji, and Wang Gongong immediately understood. "Your Highness, I'll be waiting outside. Please take care of Li Gongzi." Prince Jing nodded, and Wang Ji walked away to guard the door. Liu's head was still dizzy from all the shaking, and he fell into a light sleep for a while, until he felt something touching his face. With some difficulty, he forced himself awake and saw a tall young man standing at the bed, holding a small jade bowl in his hands. His eyebrows were knitted in confusion, as if he didn't know what to do with the medicine, and he completely lost the domineering aura he'd had when he snatched it away earlier. Liu wanted to laugh, but he held it back. Your Highness, is it time for medicine? He didn't know how much longer his transformation would last, and Prince Jing nodded, a stiff expression on his face, and Liu made to sit up. Prince Jing paused, understanding what he was trying to do, and supported him before he was able to exert any of his own strength. Liu sighed and decided not to expend any energy fighting Prince Jing, letting him help instead. Prince Jing took a soft cushion on the bed and placed it behind Liu's lower back. Liu leaned on the cushion, whispering, "Thank you, Your Highness. Please give me the bowl. I can do it myself." He held out his hand for the medicine. Prince Jing understood what Liu wanted, but how could he drink the medicine by himself when he was sick? Prince Jing had been sick when he was younger too, and in his memories, Wang Ji had always fed him medicine by the spoonful. Prince Jing knew that he ought to feed Xiao Yu now, but Xiao Yu seemed to be resisting him. If he handed the bowl over, the medicine was fresh out of the pot and still hot. It would definitely be inconvenient for the sick Xiao Yu. Prince Jing shook his head, rejecting Liu's request. He scooped up some medicine himself with a silver spoon and blew on it gently. He was afraid Liu was still angry, so instead of sitting down on the side of the bed, he bent down to bring it to Liu's lips. Liu had finally come to understand how stubborn this man was when he wouldn't put him down earlier, and he was actually afraid that if he didn't drink the medicine, Prince Jing would stand over him, waist bent, until he did. I'll just drink it. That's in italics. Liu lowered his gaze and took the medicine, his face instantly scrunching up from the bitterness. When he saw this, Prince Jing put down the medicine and took out a peach blossom pastry from the jade box. He broke it into pieces, placed it in his palm, and handed it to Liu, gesturing with his chin. He wanted him to drink some medicine and then eat something sweet, right? But this isn't how I took care of him. How'd he remember— Wait, no, oh my god. But isn't this how I took care of him? How'd he remember to do this? At first Liu glared at Prince Jing and refused to eat it, but the medicine was too bitter. After a few more sips, Liu had to admit defeat and resignedly took a few pieces of peach blossom cake from Prince Jing and stuffed it into his mouth. Prince Jing made no moves other than to keep him— Prince Jing made no moves other than to keep giving him medicine and remained him— Why can't I read? Prince Jing made no moves other than to keep giving him medicine and reminded him to eat the pastry. I know why, because I looked up and I saw— Hello, Aries VT from Friendly Catholic. You— Hi. Gay. At last Liu finished the bitter medicine, and Prince Jing took out a plain handkerchief. Before Prince Jing could get any closer, Liu took it and wiped his mouth ferociously with it. Prince Jing stayed silent and handed him another note. Liu was worried he'd see a door. He was tired. Prince Jing did treat him well. When he was carrying him around looking for a physician, Liu was a little touched. When he suddenly fell ill, Prince Jing saved him in spite of the way he'd been sulking. He kept being cold to Prince Jing, but Prince Jing took good care of him and didn't seem to be affected by his temper at all. Liu was a little curious how far Prince Jing was willing to go for him. When he found out that Prince Jing liked him, he'd felt shocked and panicked, as well as angry at the system. Those intense emotions had made him feel lost for a while. He'd been angry for too long. He kept throwing tantrums, making trouble, and even got himself severely sick. Now, as he was laying weakly on the bed, he finally calmed down enough to think and realize that he'd gone way too far overboard. He's doing a bit of self-reflecting. Good job, Liu. Good job. A round of applause for Liu. Prince Jing had fallen in love with him while he was completing his missions. Could he blame Prince Jing for that? He couldn't. If he really thought about it, Prince Jing was affected by the system too. Wasn't he innocent? He kept resting and he kept resisting and resisting, saying that he hated this huge bastard. But when he really asked himself, how much did he really hate him? When Prince Jing used Chu Yanyu to force him to come out, was he angry that Prince Jing tricked him? No. If he was more clear-headed, he would have realized that everyone in the palace schemed and tricked others. Prince Jing had always been such a person. He was more upset that his concern had been for nothing, not that Prince Jing had deceived him. And wasn't he the one Prince Jing who was always... Wasn't he... Sorry, I keep getting interrupted by myself. And wasn't he the one Prince Jing was always protecting? The biggest liar? His identity was fake. The fish was fake. Everything was fake. Hadn't he lied to Prince Jing just as much? He would invent stories at every turn for missions or anything else. And then after all that, he'd gotten upset and hypocritically criticized someone else just to vent his own dissatisfaction. When it all came down to what it all came down to was really just that he'd suffered too many blows in succession and couldn't control his emotions. He'd heard that people usually regretted the choices they made when emotions were high. He should calm down before he decided what to do about himself and Prince Jing. Liu didn't open the note for a long time. Prince Jing seemed to understand and patted the back of his hand, as if encouraging him. Emotions aside, Liu realized Prince Jing always managed to make him feel at ease. He stopped hesitating and opened the note to read, "Rest and recover well." I'm fine. I'm fine. Liu's eyes were warm again, and he nodded imperceptibly. Prince Jing tousled his hair, helped him lie down, and tucked him in the quilt. "Your Highness, can you leave me alone for a bit?" Liu asked. Prince Jing had expected this. He had been looking for a physician so urgently earlier because he knew Xiao Yu's 2 hours were almost up, and that he would need to transform back into a fish. When it came to Xiao Yu's identity, he had already come to the conclusion that if Xiao Yu didn't want him to know, then he would pretend to not know. So Prince Jing responded to Liu's request by picking up the bowl and getting ready to leave the room. Liu, on the bed, bit his lip. He had asked Prince Jing to leave because his time was almost up, but if he sent Prince Jing away like this, would he think that he was still mad? He wasn't, actually. His anger had dissipated when he saw how dedicated Prince Jing still was to him, even while he was upset. It was better to not be mad. It was too tiring and troublesome to be mad, and it hurt both himself and others. His body was sick, but his emotions were cured. "Your Highness, I feel a lot better after taking the medicine. Please don't worry, but I still have something important to do, so I can't stay in this room. I'll still come tomorrow, though, and I won't run away. So, can you come see me again tomorrow?" He's initiating! It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Liu said it all in one breath, and his face turned a little red. He wanted to say sorry to Prince Jing for his behavior and hoped Prince Jing wouldn't take it to heart, but why did he end up saying that he hoped Prince Jing would come see him? Sob, why doesn't my mouth listen to me? It must be because I'm sick. Prince Jing paused, turning around in disbelief. Liu hid his head under the quilt and pretended he hadn't said anything. Prince Jing spotted some of his hair sticking out of the blanket, smiled happily, and closed the door for him. They're sick! Liu's not the only one sick here. Liu counted Prince Jing's quick steps as he left and thought distantly that he really did still prefer getting along with that big jerk. That's the end of the chapter. That's the end of the chapter. My dog is pacing at the door because his food time is in 35 minutes. But he always starts begging for it like an hour before, at least. So I just hear little tippy tappies. Which I will have to go feed him in 35 minutes, so that is when we'll take a break. Just a heads up. And we are on chapter 57, Feeding the Fish Medicine. Liu took a brief nap. When it came to transforming back to a fish, the symptoms of his fever had improved quite a lot, and his head felt a lot clearer too. Back in his tank, Liu noticed that his fish plush was no longer lying on the silver rock bed. How had it fallen? Perhaps he had accidentally thrown it there when he was in a rush to transform. What a clumsy mistake. Prince Jing hadn't noticed it was a fake fish, right? Obviously he noticed, you idiot! He's so fucking dumb. Well, it was fine even if he didn't notice. Even if he did notice. He'd had a fish plush before too. Prince Jing hadn't suspected anything then, and had even used it himself to fool the second prince. The real fish decided it wasn't a big deal and put the plush back into his inventory. He laid on the silver rock bed listlessly, taking note of when he'd be able to transform again. Perhaps being sick had made him weak. Sleeping on a bed as a human felt a lot more comfortable than a rock bed. Besides, as a human, Prince Jing took care of him, but as a fish... Wait, didn't Prince Jing say he wanted to take the fish to see Lao Kong? Liu leapt up from the silver rock bed. Wait, Prince Jing had noticed that the fish was sick and wanted to treat the fish, but then Liu had turned into Li Gongji and passed out in his room. He's finally putting it together. Maybe. He's probably not, because he's so stupid. Oh, that was not the end of that sentence. Wait, Prince Jing had noticed that the fish was sick and wanted to treat the fish, but then Liu turned into Li Gongji and passed out in his room. So Prince Jing took Liu to see the imperial physician instead. But what about the fish? Also, the fish got sick because Li Gongji had jumped into the water to escape. Prince Jing jumped into the water to find Li Gongji, but ended up finding the unconscious fish, so he took him back. But what happened to Li Gongji? Li Gongji appeared in Prince Jing's room, completely drenched. Liu went over it again and again in his mind. The more he thought about it, the more something felt off. This was way too many coincidences. Coincidences. It's a silly word. Did Prince Jing know Li Gongji was a fish? Liu came to an abrupt realization that his cover was so full of holes that it was basically a sieve. He had to think of a plan quickly. If Prince Jing realized that the person he'd taken a liking to, Li Gongji, was actually a fish... A small voice in his head piped up. So what? Prince Jing would never accept that, so he'd stop pursuing you. Huh. Liu said to himself very seriously, if Prince Jing really finds out, then I can no longer be his pet fish, and I won't be able to complete the Moi Pet System's quest, which means I won't be able to turn back into a human. I'll be a fish for eating without anyone to rely on. Even if I'm a real koi now, will no one take care of me? I die very quickly, right? He couldn't let Prince Jing find out his secret, and he couldn't thoughtlessly make a stupid fuss just because he didn't know what to do with Prince Jing's feelings. After all, he'd already caused a huge ruckus. Liu swished his tail miserably. Taking care of the aftermath of this ruckus was now a huge, fishy headache. As Liu was sunk in thought, someone knocked on the door. Hearing no response, Prince Jing pushed it open. He'd promised that he would wait until Li Gongji left before returning. Liu immediately swam to the front of the crystal fish tank, well behaved. The current matter at hand was to make sure Prince Jing didn't notice any similarities between him and Li Gongji. For example, Li Gongji was sick, so the fish couldn't be sick. As long as the fish was lively and energetic, Prince Jing wouldn't connect the sick Li Gongji with the fish. But hang on, a few days ago the fish was on strike, not letting Prince Jing pet him. What had he done while he wasn't thinking clearly? In front of Prince Jing, Li Gongji was Li Gongji, and the fish was the fish. He couldn't mix them up. If even he himself was getting the two mixed up, Prince Jing would be able to see it too. Liu hurriedly switched his tail at the prince as he swam in complicated patterns in the water. Prince Jing did care about the fish the most, after all. Every time he came into the room, he always made a beeline to the crystal fish tank. Noticing that the fish wasn't so lethargic anymore, Prince Jing's expression improved a lot, but as he watched the fish swim around excitedly, he kept his hands to himself. What a guy. It didn't make sense. Usually when he showed affection, Prince Jing would always pet him, or at least pat his head. But now, no matter how cute he acted, Prince Jing's hands remained at his sides. He seemed to be deep in thought, and he had no intention of touching the fish. Liu suddenly grew nervous. Prince Jing hadn't actually noticed anything, had he? Liu's concerns grew as Prince Jing stared at him with his brow furrowed. Then he reached into the water, put the fish carefully on the silver stone bed, and covered the fish with the leaf blanket. At the end, he patted the fish on the head. Prince Jing was thinking, the imperial physician said he can't be cold. The fish was once again wrapped up like a spring roll. Liu vaguely recalled that the blanket Prince Jing had wrapped around Li Gongji was a grass-green color edged in gold, and the way he touched Li Gongji's head, had Prince Jing really found out? If he hadn't, why did he treat the fish and the human the same? He even knew that both the fish and Li Gongji were fans of underwater plants. As soon as this possibility surfaced in Liu's mind, he felt like the water in his fish tank had suddenly frozen solid. At that moment, Wang Gongong walked in briskly and clasped his hands together to greet Prince Jing. Your Highness, the carriage is prepared, and everything is ready at the palace. Does your Highness still wish to enter the palace? Prince Jing shook his head. He'd wanted to go to the palace because no one was able to treat Xiao Yu, so he had to ask for the Emperor's permission to seek out Lao Kong. Imperial physician Shu had already diagnosed Xiao Yu with a cold, and Xiao Yu had woken up and looked a lot better after drinking the medicine, so there was no need to rush to the palace in the night. Xiao Yu could recover quietly for a while, and he'd decide what to do after that. Of course, he still wanted to send a message to Lao Kong afterward. He would feel a lot better after consulting Lao Kong. Prince Jing's thoughts were a little complicated, so he wanted to write them down for Wang Ji. In the corner of his eye, he spotted the fish tumble off his silver stone bed, still wrapped up like a spring roll. He pressed his little fish face against the crystal, his eyes like dark grapes, staring at him pitifully. Prince Jing smiled. Xiao Yu was probably afraid of seeing Lao Kong. Yao were typically afraid of monks. Prince Jing's brush flew across the page. After he was done, his expression told Wang Ji to read it out loud. Wang Gongong truly didn't know what was going on, but read loudly under his master's orders. Xiao Yu is fine. There is no need to go to Lao Kong. Having eavesdropped he was eavesdropping. He was not. Oh my god. Having eavesdropped successfully, Liu thought, oh, it was clearly the right choice to greet Prince Jing energetically. See, now he thinks the fish isn't sick. He's looking way too calm to have found out Li Gongxi's true identity. After all, if he had realized the truth, wouldn't he be asking Lao Kong to come and exorcise the Yao? Liu was sure he was still safe, with a firm grip on his Liu was sure he was still safe, with a firm grip on his teetering cover. As for Prince Jing covering both Li Gongji and the fish in a similar blanket, Liu glanced at the leaf blanket that he had draped over himself like a cape. Perhaps Prince Jing was affected by the fish's tastes, and had also started to like green blankets. You fucking idiot. I'm gonna bonk you on the head. This was a bit more likely than Prince Jing working out Li Gongji was his fish. No, it's not. Really, when it came down to it, who would ever assume a human could turn into a fish? Prince Jing would. He would. Liu stopped thinking about it. Prince Jing obviously didn't suspect him, and Liu was happy to rest and recover. The next day he transformed right away, and Prince Jing had already ordered his medicine, to be made and was waiting for him. Liu had thought taking care of a patient just meant feeding them good food and tucking them in. Apparently getting sick caused fish to lose brain cells too. He forgot he still had to take his medicine after transforming. The medicine Imperial Physician Zhu had prescribed him was way too bitter. Liu had clearly blocked out the taste due to how awful it was the first time. In the end, though, he wasn't being stubborn. He was quite reasonable. Even though the medicine was disgusting, he knew it was good for his recovery. His fever had broken, and he was no longer feeling any discomfort, which meant the medicine was working. Prince Jing brought over the new bowl, and Liu accepted it readily and drank all of it at once. Prince Jing was holding a silver spoon. Why can't I say that word? Hello? Prince Jing was holding a silver spoon ready to feed Xiao Yu just like yesterday, but in the blink of an eye, Xiao Yu had already finished the bowl. Liu grimaced from the bitterness. When he put the bowl down, he realized Prince Jing was still standing there silently. Completely oblivious, he asked, "Is there anything else you needed, Your Highness?" Prince Jing put away the spoon and shook his head slowly. As Leo watched him, he suddenly realized that the prince probably wanted to feed him the medicine, but he'd already finished it. Leo's thought process was simple. Drinking the medicine was such a painful experience that he might as well just rip off the band-aid. Dragging it out would only make it worse, except he'd accidentally messed up Prince Jing's plan. He didn't mean to. He didn't mean to. Liu rushed to save the situation, saying, "Though I've already drunk all the medicine, it's still just as bitter." Prince Jing nodded. If it was bitter, then he should eat something sweet. He would feed him as many peach blossom pastries as he did yesterday. Prince Jing broke apart the pastry with his head down. This time, Liu had learned his lesson and didn't mention anything about eating it on his own. But Prince Jing kept standing there beside him, bending over him. Every time Liu spoke, Prince Jing would look down at Liu gently. There was no way he could keep that up for a long time. "Your Highness, why don't you sit down?" Liu said, considerately. What Liu meant was, Prince Jing should go find a chair to sit in. There were quite a few chairs in the room made of red sandalwood, so there were more than enough. But Prince Jing nodded and sat down on the edge of the bed with a whoosh of his robes. Happy Fishy Friday! Oh my god, it is Fishy Friday. What's Monday then? I can only think of bad things that I'm not gonna say. But anyway, right. The way Prince Jing had kissed him forcefully was still fresh in Liu's mind. Having him so close all of a sudden made Liu uneasy. But would he be making too big a deal of it if he asked him to stand up? Liu didn't want to be mad at Prince Jing anymore, so he could only scoot inward a little to put some distance between him and Prince Jing. You idiot. You absolute idiot. You absolute idiot. You fucking idiot. Fishy Friday. Mpreg Monday. Let's go. I'm not pregnant. Sorry. The captions are say M. Preg. Nope, not Craig. Preg. It's translated as Craig. It's not that. It's Mpreg. There we go. Okay. I just need to get that out of the way. Luckily, Prince Jing didn't notice, or if he did, he didn't let it show. Leo quickly finished the peach blossom pastries and wiped his mouth. Prince Jing then brought over a white glazed lotus petal bowl. There was a dish flipped on top of it, covering what was inside. "What is this?" the curious fish baby asked. It literally says, what? The curious fish baby. Fish baby. Fish baby. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I feel the same. I feel like the author is just like, this is my boy. This is my child. I love him, and I love him too. And he is so stupid, and oh my god, he's a fish baby. Prince Jing, I can't, that threw me off so much. Prince Jing looked a little smug as he opened it for him. Liu realized that it was a small dish of smashed cucumber. Delighted, he asked, "Did Auntie Chu make this?" He guessed it immediately. Smashed cucumbers didn't exist in ancient times. He had only made it once in front of Auntie Chu. So she must have made this. The one he made had all gone into Prince Jing's stomach, poor guy, and it seemed to taste all right. Oh no. What did Auntie Ju's taste like? I hope she did not, do exactly the same as Liu did. She had better have added some fish sauce and sugar and sesame oil. Ah! I can't have cucumbers, but I can sure have lettuce. Sorry, we mentioned this the other time. Smashed cucumbers were brought up, but that cucumbers are being recalled for something, listeria, or is that meat? There's a lot of things being recalled right now. You cannot live in the States and not be poisoned. But anyway, I can't have cucumbers right now, but I can have lettuce, so that's okay. Prince Jing came a little closer and handed him a pair of chopsticks. Liu picked up the chopsticks and tasted a piece first. Then he ate faster and faster. As he ate, he gave a thumbs up. After eating so many sweets, he wanted something savory. Auntie Ju's smashed cucumber was surprisingly comparable to the ones he'd eaten in the modern world. Prince Jing's lips twitched upward. Just like that, he'd managed to close the distance that Xiao Yu had tried so hard to put between them. He's so easy. Earlier he was like, I'm not easy. He's so easy to win over. Oh my god. Prince Jing's lips twitched upward. Just like that. Oh, I'd literally just read that. Liu had drunk his medicine, then stuffed his stomach full of pastry and cucumber. Having eaten and drunk his fill, he felt a little sleepy. Prince Jing moved the jade pillow next to him, signaling that he should sleep as well. Liu wanted to, but was afraid that he'd turn into a fish in his sleep. He wondered how much Prince Jing was willing to do for him. "If I only want to sleep for an hour, will your highness wake me up?" he asked pitifully. Waking someone up was a servant's job. Would Prince Jing do that for him? Liu was a little curious, but Prince Jing looked at Liu and nodded easily. This was something he could do. It was much easier than ordering cucumbers from Auntie Chu. Seeing that he didn't even hesitate, Liu's heart pounded once again. Wang Ji had important news to report to Prince Jing, but Prince Jing had specifically warned him Wang Ji had important news to report to Prince Jing, but Prince Jing had specifically warned him before that when he was taking care of Li Gongji, he did not want to be disturbed. Wang Ji peeked in through the crack in the door and waited until Li Gongji had fallen asleep to call out to Prince Jing quietly. Prince Jing walked out and stared at him with cold eyes, listening to what he had to say. Wang Ji immediately understood. "He's at Qingxi Garden, awaiting your highness's punishment." Huh? Oh no. Oh no, my boy! Chewy on you, no! It's chewy on you! Oh, why is he so sad? Prince Jing reached up to flick some dust off of his robes. He pulled something out of his sleeve and handed it to Wang Ji. Wang Ji took it, confirming that it was some sort of medicine. His heart went cold. Huh? His Highness was much too harsh, but this man had brought this on himself. Inside the room, someone started sleeping. What? Inside the room, someone started sleep talking. At the sound of Li Gongji's voice, Prince Jing's ominous aura immediately dissipated as he hurried back to look after Li Gongji. Now that he had his orders, Wang Ji immediately told the servants to do as Prince Jing instructed. I am going to be so sad for him. I don't want him to. No, no! Can we give Chu Yuanyu a happy ending, please? He is so sad. I actually want to see this story from Chu Yuanyu's point of view, because that would just be angst the whole fucking way through. If the like these guys are all fluff and like hee 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 ha ha ha, and Chu Yuanyu is over there like, I am suffering so much. What the fuck? Oh, he makes me so sad. When Chu Yuanyu was dragged back to his quarters, he suffered another beating. Perhaps because this wasn't his first time, he didn't pass out, but he wished he had. He never expected that after all he had to do to sneak into Prince Jing's rooms to drug him, he'd end up being discovered immediately. It wasn't even just that his plan had failed. In order to entice Prince Jing and in order to numb himself, he had drunk an aphrodisiac himself. He'd felt strange and he'd assumed he was burning with desire. He cried and begged nonstop for the servants carrying out his punishment to take him to Prince Jing, hoping that Prince Jing would feel a little pity for his current state. The drug was meant to help him forget about shame and do what he had to do, but in the end, Wang Ji told him coldly that he hadn't even taken the drug. All of the aphrodisiac had been switched with bean powder. That was when Chu Yuanyu realized that what he was feeling was only the product of his guilty conscience. Everyone knew, but nobody told him. They all just watched as he made a fool of himself, begging lewdly for affection. Chu Yuanyu lay on the ground quietly, wishing he was dead. Now Wang Ji was here with a bunch of servants. Before Chu Yuanyu could react, a guard had grabbed his throat and forced him to drink a cup of tea. Chu Yuanyu knew it couldn't be anything good. He put his fingers down his throat and coughed loudly, but even though he coughed until he cried, he still wasn't able to throw up the tea. Chu Yuanyu glared at Wang Ji, tears streaming down his face. What did you give me? Wang Ji's smile didn't reach his eyes. Chu Gongji wanted to drink this, but wasn't able to. Have you forgotten already? Was this the real aphrodisiac? Chu Yuanyu was shocked and alarmed. He turned to run, thinking that if he could escape to the sixth prince, there would be someone to protect him, to save him. But he was in Prince Jing's manor, and he was injured. There was no way he'd be able to get very far. Wang Ji walked forward to throw him down on the ground himself, and tied up Chu Yuanyu's hands and feet. I don't like this. I don't like this very much. Chu Yuanyu felt the true effects of the drug very quickly. He was trembling all over, eyes bloodshot. Every single rational thought had been swallowed up until nothing was left. Who he was, who the sixth prince was, none of that mattered. He just wanted release, or else for someone to kill him. He thought Wang Ji had put him in this state so he could find someone to defile him, but nobody came. After Wang Ji tied him up, he gagged him and locked him in the room. Chu Gongji waited. Oh man. Chu Gongji wanted others to experience what it feels like to be consumed by desire. Wang Ji sneered. Why don't you try it out yourself? Except no one will be coming to help you. Get a good taste of what it feels like, Chu Gongji. This is Prince Jing's punishment for you. Chu Yuanyu couldn't move or shout. All he could do was whine pitifully. Wang Ji disappeared into the distance. All that awaited Chu Yuanyu was suffocating heat and endless darkness. I didn't like that. I suppose it's not the worst thing that could happen, but pretty bad. Pretty awful. Pretty nasty. What if he threw up? So I just think, listen, it's just when you overheat, you kind of want to, you know, but it would, ew. Okay, I need to stop thinking about this. That's the end of the chapter, by the way. That is the end of the chapter. I'm gonna take a quick break to feed the dogs and get more tea, and we will come right back with chapter 58 called Greetings to the Fish Consort. Interesting. Interesting. Oh my god. No, okay. We get to sit with that for a bit. Why does it feel so harsh? Like I know Chuyeon tried to love potion him, but oh my god. I know, it's like such a 180 from what we were just dealing with. That is crazy. I didn't know this author could write angst. What the hell? What the fuck? Alright, I will be right back. Sit with that, I guess. See you in a second. I'm back. That was really fast, huh? My dogs ate really fast and didn't really poop or anything. So I also didn't really make more tea. I just put more hot water in my tea because it was already like still a third full. So I also didn't want to get another tea bag because I'm scared of caffeinating myself too much because caffeine doesn't bode well with me. What does bode mean? I don't think I'm using that in the right context. Sorry, whenever I walk and sit down, I get out of breath. That's just how it is. I'm just gonna take a sip more because I don't want to start and then get my voice all scratchy and then be in pain. So yeah, how's your day? How's your day going? My day's going okay. I mean, it's very not really started yet, but it's okay. This tastes like nothing. It's just hot water. It's just hot water now. Like it still tastes like the tea, but not nearly as much. Caught a cold? No, you need your own fridge chick. Oh man. What do you do when printing is fictional? You should have tea. Tea is good, and you should have it with honey because honey is very good for your throat. And also, if you can help it, like if you have a sore throat, then you should maybe like sleep with a scarf on, as long as you don't choke yourself in your sleep. Um, it just helps relieve it a bit. Also, don't overheat, but you know, do what you think is best. When I was sick, when I got COVID, ugh, it was like 3 years ago. 3 years, has it been 3 years already? Maybe 2 years ago? I think 2 years ago. Um, oh boy. Oh boy, my throat was in shambles. Thank you, Dr. Harris. You're welcome. No, but like okay, because I got COVID from getting, um, what is it called? It's not wisdom teeth. It's like surgery on your teeth on one of my tooths. I forget what it was. What is it called? Anyway, I got COVID at the dentist. Yes, root canal. Yeah, that one. I got root canal at the dentist. I got COVID there as well. Yippee! So I couldn't actually tell if it was the root canal that caused me so much pain in my throat, and like I think I had a sinus infection as well. Awful. Um, but yeah, that with the COVID was not very fun. But like at some point, I was just having spoonfuls and spoonfuls of honey, and it was disgusting. Disgusting. But yeah, I'd rather take that than just like take a shot of ginger because I hate ginger. Horrible sickness cocktail. Yeah, it really was. It. I thought I was gonna die at some points. Mostly from the COVID, but actually I kind of just wanted to die because I didn't want my throat to hurt that much anymore. Because it actually felt like it was bleeding. Anyway, I don't want you to like. Whatever, whatever. It's over. We're not doing that again. I'm super COVID safe. I'm not getting COVID again. But at the same time, I was super COVID safe. Like, I was the most COVID safe then as well. So, fuck dentists that don't take proper health procedures. Fuck them. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so mad at that. Anyway, let's read. Let's read. Chapter 58. Greetings to the fish consort. I don't know why I can never see the S at the end of that word. Exactly. Thank you. Liu recovered from his cold quite quickly. In the days during his recovery, he would spend 2 hours every day with Prince Jing in his human form, drinking his medicine, eating pastries, and calmly observing him. He wasn't even really sure what he was looking for, but once he'd calmed down, he thought it felt quite nice to be taken care of like this. Sorry, I'm burpy. Thinking back, Prince Jing hadn't just been kind to him these last few days. It had started back when he first appeared as Li Gongji. Was that when the prince first fell for him? Oh, ad starting soon. Bitch, I hate it when it does this ad starting soon notification for like so long and then it doesn't even start. I'm gonna stall for a bit until that runs. Stalling. I should have read it earlier. I'm sorry. That is on me. My bad. My bad. My hair is so I bleached my hair a while ago. It's grown out quite a bit, but it's so dead. It's so like curly in a way that it's not curly, but like wavy in a dead hair way. You know what I mean? Can we start the ad, please? If it's gonna start. Oh, there we go. 11 min. What? I'm so confused. Twitch, get your shit together. Yeah. How do we feel about the knock feature? I know we all hate it. We all hate it. It's so stupid. If you don't know what's going on, Twitch had an update with like a way that you can just get into someone else's stream as like a collaboration thing, but it's also like what the fuck? Jeff Goldblum, so the fuck I'm trying to listen to the oh fuck Jeff Goldblum. Goldblum? Fucking he's Zionist, by the way. Hee yippee. That's a fun fact. Fuck Zionists. Anyway, where were we? Where were we? If he got this question right, he'd score major points. Okay, you know what? We're reading back. I don't know what's going on. I'm reading the paragraph again. He wasn't even really sure what he was looking for, but once he'd calmed down, he thought it felt quite nice to be taken care of like this. Thinking back, Prince Jing hadn't been kind to him hadn't just been kind to him this last few days. It had started back when he first appeared as Li Gongji. Was that when the prince first fell for him? If he got this question right, he'd score major bonus points, but although Li Gongji was curious, when he looked at Prince Jing's distinguished, gentle side profile, he couldn't seem to ask it. I think I should be able to work it out if I keep watching him, Li Gongji reassured himself. Imperial Physician Shu checked his pulse for him a few more times and adjusted his medication before finally pronouncing him fully recovered. Liu smiled from joy, but after he thanked Imperial Physician Shu, he found himself feeling strangely disappointed because they don't have their dates. He had recovered, so there was no need for Prince Jing to spend time with him anymore. He was once again just a servant in the manor tasked with taking care of the fish. You fucking idiot! Ah! Liu ignored the discomfort in his heart and managed a bright smile as he said, "Thank you, Your Highness, for taking care of me all this time." Prince Jing smiled gently and nodded. Liu had recovered now, but he didn't know what had happened after Chu Yanyu tried to drug Prince Jing. He didn't dare ask the prince directly, so he tried to ask Wang Gonggong. Sorry. So he tried to ask Wang Gonggong instead. Too many syllables. In my mouth. Actually, this tea tastes kind of fine watered down. It was a bit too strong earlier, but now it's okay. Liu couldn't explain, so he said vaguely, "I've heard Chu Gongzi's name before when I was outside." I skipped a paragraph. Wang Ji smiled at him. Chu Gongzi made a big mistake, he said, not revealing anything. He's been given the time to reflect on himself in his room. How do you know him, Li Gongzi? Liu couldn't explain, so he said vaguely, I heard Chu Gongzi's name before, when I was outside. It wasn't entirely a lie. The delicate concubine was famous for his looks and talents in the original story, and had already been very well known back when he was under the sixth prince. Perhaps this old servant had heard of him too, said Wang Ji. But that's all in the past now. Once someone has entered the manor, they ought to focus on being a good person rather than crafting filthy plots. Personally, this servant thinks Chu Gongzi brought this upon himself. Li Gongzi, you shouldn't feel bad for him or ask for forgiveness on his behalf. Wang Ji really was good with people. He even anticipated that Liu would ask for leniency. Liu paused. Of course not, he said. He wasn't that naive. Chu Yanyu had the nerve to try to drug Prince Jing. Now that he was caught, it was already benevolent of Prince Jing not to kill him. Wang Gonggong just said he was self-reflecting, so there was no need for Liu to ask Prince Jing for leniency over that. There was no way he could know, though, what Wang Ji actually meant by what? I feel like there's a word missing in this sentence. There was no way he could know, though, with Wang Ji actually what I said it wrong, my bad. What Wang Ji actually meant by reflecting on himself, so he didn't give it any further thought. So much for Prince Jing and Chu Yanyu's relationship. From what he knew of Prince Jing, the chances of the two falling in love must have dwindled to practically nothing. It seemed like he was stable in his position as the one Prince Jing liked, and there was no need to try to set Prince Jing up with anyone else anymore. The acceptance... Reaching this conclusion, Liu felt a sense of relief. I wonder why my fucking stupid-ass fish baby... He didn't want to find out what would become of Chu Yanyu. Prince Jing had already rejected Chu Yanyu back during the banquet. He could have lived a life completely different to the one he had in the book, but Chu Yanyu remained adamant on entering Prince Jing's manor. Liu only found out how exactly Chu Yanyu got in after Wang Gonggong explained it. It turned out that the third prince had just jammed him in there in a desperate bid for favor. Liu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Wow! Wrong book, but... Chu Gongji had no status in Prince Jing's manor, even to this day. He couldn't even be considered servant. Everyone in the manor knew to keep their guard up against him, and when they called him Gongji, it was with a slight sneer, unlike Li Gongji, who was someone Prince Jing cared for with all his heart. All the servants treated him with respect, careful not to offend him in any way. Although Liu's appearance had messed up Prince Jing's canon pairing, he hadn't forced Chu Yanyu to drug the prince. Since that had been Chu Yanyu's own decision, it really wasn't Liu's problem. Liu stopped talking about Chu Yanyu. What the hell? Liu stopped talking about Chu Yanyu. Prince Jing didn't like that Xiao Yu kept asking about other people, so he signaled to Wang Ji with his eyes to stop talking about it. So annoying. Wang Ji, who had been given a great responsibility, immediately changed topics. Your Highness, Li Gongzi, Your Highness, Li Gongzi, a new market opened up in the city recently. This old servant heard that the emperor organized it along with the king of Jinzhou to celebrate the marriage between the empire and Jinzhou, our empire and Jinzhou. Boy, oh boy. Many merchants there are from Jinzhou. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Otherwise, I'm sad. And they're selling little trinkets we've never seen over here. As soon as he heard market and trinkets, Liu's ears perked up. He is really just a fucking sugar baby, isn't he? Wang Ji held in his laughter. His Highness was planning on going to take a look. If Li Gongzi is interested, why don't you ask His Highness about it? Wang Ji blinked at Liu, then gestured towards Prince Jing with his lips. Since his transmigration, Liu hadn't once had a chance to go shopping as a human, so he hurried to ask, Your Highness, I want to go, can I?
Baby.
Fish, baby. That was what Prince Jing was waiting for. He nodded with a smile. Liu could finally go out and walk around. If he stayed in Prince Jing's manor for any longer, he was going to grow mushrooms. Liu was thrilled until he realized that by modern standards, he and Prince Jing strolling around the markets would be considered a date. Right? Oh my god. Oh my god, they're so fucking dumb. So it was a date. Liu snuck a glance at Prince Jing, blushing slightly. That asshole was employing his sneaky tactics again. Since Wang Ji was the one who'd brought it up, he almost didn't notice. Since it was a date, did that mean Prince Jing was pursuing him? This asshole used force before, Liu complained silently, and now he's worked out how to woo me. He's getting too good way too fast. He's been talking to, what's his face? What's the other guy's name? How did I forget his name? No! I love him. I forgot his name, his cousin. But Liu didn't have the heart to say no to the market. He bit his lip. It wasn't like he had a partner. He might as well just let this big asshole pursue him for a bit. He didn't have anything to lose by it. Liu nodded, officially agreeing. Wang Gogong almost offered his congratulations. Now, if the masters were going out, it wasn't as if they would leave immediately. They had to see when the market was open and when Prince Jing had time. Besides, Xiao Yu needed suitable clothing for going out. Prince Jing chose a few more styles in private and asked Wang Ji to handle it. Really, Wang Gongong was so busy lately that he barely had a moment to breathe. In order to completely dismiss any remaining hesitation for Xiao Yu, fish lover Prince Jing kindly can't. They just pull out these fucking random ass names out of their fucking ass. I can't do this. In order to completely dismiss any remaining hesitation for Xiao Yu, fish lover Prince Jing kindly suggested they take the fish out with them. Taking care of the fish would fall to Li Gongji. Liu couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. If Prince Jing wanted him to look after the fish, then when the time came, he'd be the one to determine which was the real fish and which was the fake. Soon the day arrived. Liu and Prince Jing had already agreed on a time to leave. Once he transformed, Liu immediately went to go meet the prince. He wore a new long robe that Prince Jing had given him. It was a red robe. It was rose red and embroidered with silver lotuses. I'm just imagining it. Silver lotuses. It's putting him in red. He's putting him in red. He put him in red. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my god. He tied a string of pearls casually around his waist. Wang Ji said he should dress a little more cheerily since he had just recovered. Liu didn't quite understand the customs of ancient people, but it sounded good, so he put it on. He still wasn't very used to the belts people wore in ancient times, but the clothes that Prince Jing had given him always came with very thin belts, so he didn't have to give himself a headache trying to tie them. Red was an auspicious color, and it made one's skin appear paler. Liu felt like he looked a lot more hale and hardy. Hale and hardy? Wearing red? I've never heard that phrase before. In the bronze mirror, his cheeks looked like he was wearing rouge. He didn't normally wear such bright colors. He put him in red! I can't get over it. That's his wife. That is his wife. Liu smiled, pleased. Oh, no. I skipped. Prince Jing stared at him for a long while before he was able to look away. Liu smiled, pleased. He understood that the clothes made the man, but Prince Jing's old clothes fit him too well, like they were actually made for him. Since he transmigrated into a fish, he didn't get to spend much time as a human. He was already incredibly grateful to have clothes to wear, so he never gave it much thought. But this time, he did. Why did Prince Jing have such a huge pile of old clothes that all fit Liu? Prince Jing teeing and kicking his feet right now. He is! Oh god. Such a bitch. I can relate to Wang Ji right now. My god, they're so gay. And why were these clothes all in colors Prince Jing would never wear? Liu suddenly came to a realization. Could it be these aren't old clothes at all, but ones your highness had— Oh, he's saying this out loud. Oh my god, he's actually asking this. Could it be that these clothes aren't these aren't old clothes at all, but ones your highness had made for me? Prince Jing hadn't expected to be found out like this, and his expression betrayed how awkward he felt. He didn't actually admit to anything, but his uneasy gaze said it all. If this had happened before, Liu might have been annoyed, but now that he'd adjusted his perspective, he could see Prince Jing's feelings towards him, and the careful and thoughtful way he treated him. Liu felt like his heart had been pounced on by a little kitten. That is a phrase I've never heard before, but it's so perfect. That is so perfect. Oh my god. Thank you, Your Highness. The clothes are very pretty. I'll continue to wear them. Liu tried to tell himself that just wearing clothes Prince Jing had made for him— Liu tried to tell himself that he was just wearing clothes Prince Jing had made for him. There was nothing weird about that. But Prince Jing's embarrassment seemed to be contagious. After looking into Prince Jing's eyes for a while, he started to become embarrassed too. I can't do this. I can't do this. Liu looked down, playing with the gold chain on the crystal bottle. Because Prince Jing had given him the task of looking after his pet fish, Liu was the one who put the fish in the bottle. He put the fish plush in early on and tried to keep the bottle covered with his sleeve. When the time came, he'd swapped it out and put himself in the bottle. He'd make it hard to tell if it was real or fake. So are you gonna ditch? You're just gonna— okay. This guy is— I can't stand him. He remembered that Prince Jing would wrap the gold chain around his hand to prevent the bottle from slipping. In order to make it seem like the fish was really there, Liu did the same thing, but he had only wrapped the chain around once when Prince Jing took the gold chain and bottle away from him. Liu was confused. His heart leapt in his throat, afraid Prince Jing would take a look at the fish in the bottle and notice the difference. But Prince Jing only wrapped the golden chain from his hand and wrapped it around his own instead. Huh? Prince Jing couldn't speak, so he had to guess a lot of what he meant. Liu thought about it for a while. Prince Jing hadn't scolded him, so it probably wasn't because he wasn't taking good enough care of the fish. Perhaps he thought the chain would make him uncomfortable. But Prince Jing's hand had been injured, and injured to protect him too. Remembering what Prince Jing looked like when he was bleeding to protect him made Liu feel like he was going to drown in all his emotions. He's being gay again. He'd originally planned to take a bit of time to calm down, but it was like Prince Jing had an invisible string tied to him, reeling him in bit by bit. Fish metaphor. That didn't go over my head. Your Highness, Gongji, it's time to go. Wang Gonggong came to ask for further instructions. The market was some way from the manor. Wang Gonggong had arranged for a carriage, and Liu had to make the most of his precious time. When it was time to get on, a servant bent down so Liu could use his back to step up into the carriage, but Liu politely refused. He really wasn't an aristocrat, and it was hard to just hoist himself, and it wasn't hard to just hoist himself into the carriage. Prince Jing's carriage was a little on the small side. When Liu was in there alone, it was just enough room. But when Prince Jing got on from the other side, and with the two of them together, it was a bit cramped. They'd had no choice but to sit face to face with their legs touching. When the carriage turned a corner or changed speed. Sorry, I'm so excited. I can't. Oh my god. When the carriage turned a corner or changed speeds, Liu would inevitably bump into Prince Jing or lurch against him. It never hurt, but Liu couldn't be any more flustered. He felt like he was taking advantage of Prince Jing. Every time he touched the prince, he would apologize. Prince Jing listened to his endless apologies, but his eyes were full of smiles. Sob, you big asshole. When you smile like that, why does it seem like you're taking advantage of me? I'm fine. I'm so fine. I don't know why, but my nose is being very silly. I think it's because I was laughing too much. Or like giggling. Oh no. Okay. The carriage soon arrived at the market, and Prince Jing helped Liu down. Liu had climbed up into the carriage himself, but when it was time to get down, his legs trembled at the height. It was clearly a bit taller than he was. Huh? He had no choice but to swallow his embarrassment and let Prince Jing help him. But Prince Jing really knew how to take advantage of the situation. As soon as he saw Liu give in, not only did he take his hand, he even put an arm around his waist. Thanks to the difference in their heights, Liu couldn't refuse, and he had to endure being half carried, half hugged off the carriage. Having heard that nobility was coming, a lot of commoners had gathered at the market. It was a large, bustling crowd. Liu had just stepped foot on the ground and escaped from Prince Jing's arms when he heard the people whispering among themselves. He's still wearing red, by the way. He is still in... That's his wife. That is his wife! Who is that noble? The carriage looks like it's from Prince Jing's manor. Have you heard of Prince Jing? Of course I've heard of His Royal Highness Prince Jing. I'm asking about the young Gongzi next to him. Liu's ears immediately perked up at the mention of himself. Who's that Gongzi? I don't know. Perhaps His Highness's younger brother? Do you hug your brother like that? Look at the way His Highness is fussing over him. He must be either a consort or a concubine. No way. A consort can come to the market too? A consort wouldn't be able to, so maybe he is a beloved concubine instead. A concubine? Prince Jing also overheard the inappropriate conversation, and his expression darkened. It's his wife! Liu thought it was understandable that the people would gossip if they didn't know the truth, and it was unavoidable that Prince Jing would get angry too. It would be good if he could clarify the situation here. The thought had just popped into his mind when Prince Jing's sharp gaze swept toward Wang Ji, like he could hear Liu's thoughts. With a start, Wang Ji immediately ran over and pulled the uniformed commoners to the side to talk to them. Once he'd done as the prince asked, Wang Ji returned to the group smiling. The commoners also came back smiling, yelling excitedly, "Welcome, prince! Welcome, consort!" Liu had naively thought Prince Jing was going to explain the situation. One mistake, that has 3 exclamation marks, by the way. One mistake, and he'd regret it forever. How had he become a consort? What was going to become of his reputation? What reputation, my guy? You're so stupid. Oh no. Well, yeah, okay, there we go. Well, never mind. A fish didn't need a reputation. Liu had lost count of how many times he had comforted himself like this by now. That's the end of the chapter. And I think, honestly, okay. The next chapter is called Fishy Shopping. How many chapters did we read today? Is it 3 or 4? 1, 2, 3. We've read 3 so far, I think. Yes. Okay, I need to pee real quick. I will go to the bathroom and then we will read the next chapter, and then that is where we will end off today. Oh, sorry. It's about 10 pages. I'm just gonna. Yep, I'll BRB. Real fast. You won't even notice that I'm gone. You'll blink and then I'll be back. Okay, BRB. I'm back. I told you I was gonna be fast. Oh boy. But yeah, I've been drinking a shit ton of tea, so. No, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. I'm so excited for this next. I'm having so much fun. I'm having too much fun. We were so sad about Chuyeon Yu earlier, but now that's forgotten about and we're moving on. That's crazy. That's crazy that we can just forget about that. Anyway, Fishy Shopping. Chapter 59, page 223. So far, the numbers of the chapters, the page numbers of the chapters have been ending on have been really satisfying. Like, this last chapter ended on 222. It's so silly. The other one 212. The other one 200. Like, what the hell? That is so satisfying. Okay. Last chapter, let's go. Now that the people had all started calling him consort, Prince Jing's expression relieved a bit. But it didn't seem like he had any intention of correcting them, nor did he express anything further to Liu. Liu thought if Prince Jing mentioned anything about it, he could deny it, since they weren't actually married. They are, though. Sorry, bro, you're married now. It would be no good if people misunderstood. But Prince Jing never brought up the topic, so he couldn't very well mention it himself, lest it seemed like he cared about the title of consort. So he just had to endure a bunch of people calling him consort and couldn't say anything to deny it. Liu started to regret leaving the house. Sob, sob, sob. Why did he have to be forced into this situation just because this big asshole wouldn't say anything? I mean, he can't really talk, but... Wangji had come to the market beforehand to take a look around, and he quietly introduced everyone to Prince Jing and Liu. If the masters were interested, he could lead the way. The manor's guards protecting Prince Jing while Prince Jing protected. The manor's guards protected Prince Jing while Prince Jing protected Li Gongji. Although there were plenty of onlookers, no one came over to bother the group. Prince Jing handed the simple map to Wang Ji. Prince Jing handed a No, again. Once more. Prince Jing handed the simple map Wang Ji had drawn to Liu, clearly wanting him to take the lead. Liu only had 2 hours. He couldn't waste his time on needless pleasantries, so he accepted the map without any hesitation. Wang Ji's map was simple and easy to understand. You could see how everything... Wow. This whole 2 pages is, like, so paragraph heavy. Like, you know when... Like, the paragraphs all look like one paragraph, kind of, because the end of the sentence ends closer to the end of the page. It's not a big deal, but it just looks like a brick. Wang Ji's map was simple and easy to understand. You could see how everything was laid out in a single glance. The market had 2 entrances, north and south. Right now, they were at the north entrance, and all along the main road were plenty of stalls and shops. There was even a restaurant, and acrobats from Jinju were performing inside it. Liu knew he couldn't explore every nook and cranny of the market, so he headed for the busiest area. The restaurant was said to be the largest in the area, and although it was owned by a local, all the chefs were from Jinju. Apparently, the people of Jinju excelled at cooking beef and lamb, so the restaurant's specialty was barbecued whole lamb and all kind of kebabs. I want to eat that so much. All of this made Liu extremely excited, and he couldn't help drooling at the thought. Me too, Your Highness, let's just follow the main road slowly south. We can take a look at the stalls along the road, then have a meal at the restaurant, and watch the acrobats. Then once we've reached the south entrance, we can leave. How's that? It was a straightforward plan, and Prince Jing had no objections, so he ordered Wang Ji to make it happen. Wang Gonggong immediately ordered a guard to jog to the restaurant and reserve the best private room. A whole lamb would take quite a while to cook, so they could ask the restaurant to start preparing it right away. Li Gongji and His Highness would walk around a bit, and by the time they made it to the restaurant, it would be about time to eat. And so Liu and Prince Jing started to browse the market as planned. Just as Wang Ji said, there were plenty of Jinju goods on sale. Liu had only read a few lines about this in the original novel. The people of Jinju liked thick, sparkly, impressive gold accessories, especially bracelets and masks. They would often be carved with Jinju's 3-legged crow motif. Liu loved sparkly things too. Every time they passed by the stall with these golden accessories shining in the sun, he would always stop and take a curious look. That is so cute. If their motif is a crow and they like sparkly things, that is adorable. That's so cute. I love it so much. Prince Jing noticed a white jade hairpin with a rare fish design on the end. A piece of inky jade was used for the fish's eyes. Prince Jing thought the hairpin was made quite nicely, although the materials used were a little rough. It looked rather like Xiao Yu. He asked for the hairpin to take a closer look. Liu was delighted that Prince Jing was looking at the hairpin. It turned out this big asshole also liked sparkly accessories. Fucking idiot. While Prince Jing was examining the hairpin, Liu snuck off to a different stall. Prince Jing noticed immediately and handed the hairpin off to Wang Ji to take care of. He led the guards himself, following Liu from a distance. Ever since Xiao Yu arrived at the market, his eyes had been practically glued to all the little trinkets along the side of the road. There wasn't anything wrong with letting the carp spirit enjoy himself for a bit. I love him. I love him. Most of the stalls along the main road were surrounded by people, but after a while Liu found one that was a little quieter. This one sold bracelets and masks. Liu's Liu's appreciative Liu's appreciative gaze paused at each mask hanging up on display. The masks on the stall all had a thick layer of gold powder, and a three-legged crow stood on the forehead of each one. Every crow had a beautiful peacock feather at its tail, making the mask seem ancient and mysterious. After looking at the masks, Liu went to look at the bracelets, imitating Prince Jing. He picked up a gold bracelet and observed it carefully under the sun. The three-legged crow was carved on the inside, just like he'd heard. Liu felt the bracelet with his fingers, feeling like it had been polished very smoothly. Other than the crow on the inside, there were no other embellishments. Oh no. Trying it on, the thick, heavy gold on his thin wrist really gave off a feeling of new money. Liu thought it didn't suit him and tried to take it off. Stupid. But the merchant saw that Liu was alone and he didn't know who he was, so he said with a smile, "Since you've already put it on, customer, that means the bracelet is fated to be yours. This is a custom of ours in Ginger. Please don't try to go against fate. Buy it." The merchant was thick and muscular, with a dense mustache. And, like many Ginger people, his eyes were slightly deep-set. He was trying to force Liu to buy the bracelet immediately, and he wanted 50 taels for it. Tiles? Taels? Taels. I'm assuming that's just like currency. Liu was a little panicked. He'd only tried it on once, and it was so expensive. He had run into an ancient version of hard had he run into an ancient version of hard selling? Gay fish. Exactly. Precisely. They are being extremely gay right now. I am I don't know how to deal with it. I genuinely it just gets more and more gay, and I can't do it. Anyway, let's see how he saves them. Prince Jing, who was a distance away, was about to intervene as soon as he noticed something was wrong, but then he saw Liu scratch his cheek and smile mischievously. Prince Jing's footsteps stopped. It seemed he had accidentally come across Xiao Yu making mischief. Xiao Yu was his carp spirit, after all. As long as there was no danger, he could do whatever he wanted. Meanwhile, Liu was thinking it over carefully. The merchant hadn't warned him he couldn't try on the wares. He then glanced at the other stalls. Everyone was trying things on, but the other merchants didn't say anything. This was the only stall abiding by this ginger custom, in quotations. Liu immediately understood he was being scammed. Liu wasn't worried at all when faced with such a person. He said slowly, "Sir, when I first put it on, you didn't say I would have to buy it if I tried it on. Why are you only telling me this now?" "Now is not too late." The merchant threw all shame out of the window. "My bracelets are imbued with spirit. Now that you've put it on, you've sucked away the spirit inside. If you won't buy it, how will I sell it to someone else?" Please. How could he make up such a stupid story? Liu weighed the bracelet on his palm. In his palm. It was quite heavy, so it was probably worth a lot, but definitely not 50 whole taels. Liu had heard Wang Ji mention before that 10 taels was enough to support an ordinary family for a whole year. How could he buy an accessory that was worth 5 years of expenses? Besides, he didn't have any money. He was in charge of taking care of the fish at Prince Jing's manor. His work was very easy, and Prince Jing took care of all his meals and clothes. Liu never thought to ask for pay. He was just a transmigrated fish. Why would he need to care about such material goods? Sure, he had an inventory, but it was better to save that for something important. Although he slept with a gold embroidered blanket on, although he slept with a gold embroidered blanket and on a spacious silver rock bed every night, he actually had nothing to his name. He had no savings. He was a fish. He was a fish pauper. I hate him so much. First fish baby and now fish pauper. There was no way he could afford this gold bracelet, and he didn't want to waste money to support such scammy practices. It would be best if he could teach this merchant a lesson. I know. He's wearing red. Everyone thinks he's Prince Jing's wife, by the way, if you didn't know. I hate them. They're so fucking gay. I can't stand it. Sorry, sir, Liu said easily. 50 taels is too much. No matter what you say, I'm not gonna buy it. This is in his head. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? The merchant stared eyes wide. There was no way he was mistaken. The youth's robes were made of top quality ice silk, even though the pearls casually tied around his waist were each a good size. Thus he determined this youth must be a rich Gongzi. But how could a member of the aristocracy? Sorry, it trips me up when words are pronounced different, with like add-ons to it. Anyway, but how could a member of the aristocracy not be able to afford a mere 50 taels? Am I pronouncing that right? Taels? Tiles? I don't know. That's exactly what pursues. I don't know. Plus, where the hell? What the hell? Okay. Plus, he looked like he had the time to haggle all day. Like tails, yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. The merchant's expression was dark. The least I can do is 45 taels. I can't go any lower. Bitch ass. Yes, you can. Liu sighed. Sir, I can't afford 45 taels either. The merchant held on to hope. Each time he would go down by 5 taels. They'd haggle down to 25 taels, but this Gongzi still wasn't planning on paying. The merchant was starting to get angry. Then how much can you afford? Sorry, sir, I forgot to bring my wallet today. The youth stuck his tongue out and smiled. What a bitch! God, I love him. Oh, I love him so much. The merchant nearly passed out from rage. Why are you shopping if you don't have any money? Liu said innocently. You never told me I had to buy the bracelet if I tried it on. The merchant was so angry he wanted to chase him away. He was just about to curse Liu out when, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a tall youth with a bunch of servants standing behind the young Gongzi. This tall young man looked over with a cold expression and met the merchant's eyes. The threat in them was obvious. The merchant realized that this must be the young Gongzi's backer, and he trembled. His mouth gaped open and shut, but he swallowed his curses back down. Meanwhile, Liu Yu had no idea someone was supporting him in secret. The merchant fell silent, and Liu put the bracelet back on his arm. What a bitch. What a bitch. The merchant was baffled by his actions. Quietly, he said, You won't buy it, so why are you still wearing it? Sir, didn't you say I sucked away the spirit of this bracelet? Said Liu simply. I'm wearing it for a while so it can suck some of my spirit back into it. That way you can sell it to someone else. The merchant had just said his bracelet had The merchant had just said his bracelets had spirit. But if he denied it now, he'd basically be slapping himself in the face. The merchant's uneasy gaze floated over the youth not far away. Perhaps he was imagining things because of the danger he could sense, but the youth's icy expression seemed even colder. There was nothing he could do as he watched Liu play with the bracelet, fiddling with it in all sorts of ways. Passerby stared at Liu curiously, and I think it's supposed to be passerbys. Single passerby? Okay. Stared at Liu curiously, and there were some who were interested and also wanted to play with the bracelet. Passersby. Yeah, it should be that, but yeah. It's connect, they forgot to space it out. Unless it's not. Unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't actually know word things that well, clearly. I was homeschooled. Anyway, the merchant thought business had arrived, but Liu... Wait, did I skip something? No. The merchant thought business had arrived, but Liu leaned in and casually said, "Did you guys bring enough money? This merchant has a rule that if you try it on, you have to buy it." Once everyone heard that, they all quickly left. What a bitch. What a bitch. Once everyone... Okay, yeah, I just read that. The merchant was furious and frustrated, but he couldn't show it. In the end, he could only ask Liu to return the bracelet and go somewhere else. Liu was all smiles. "I hope your business is well," he said. "I'll be back next time." "Please don't come back again," the merchant prayed silently. It's okay, I know, and I'm always correct. Yeah, that's good, actually. I love that. Liu thought he'd only left for a short while and that Prince Jing was probably still looking at the hairpin, but when he turned around to go look for Prince Jing, he saw the prince standing behind him with a smile, as though he were a solid metal wall. Your Highness!" Liu's tongue was tied. This asshole had been there the whole time? Then wouldn't he have seen him haggling with the merchant and messing around with him? As the one that Prince Jing fancied, he must have completely shattered Prince Jing's image of him, right? Liu was a little hesitant, but Prince Jing was smiling as he walked to him. He patted Liu on the head, pulled out a white jade hairpin, shaped like a fish, and carefully put it in Liu's hair. What? You know what I want to say. You know what I want to say. When Liu had first transformed into a human, the system had made some adjustments to his appearance, making his hair longer, so he'd fit in. Nobody had commented on it, and so Liu didn't give it much thought either, assuming he was doing enough to follow the customs. Every time he transformed, he was always in a rush. Having clothes to wear was good enough. Having clothes to wear was good enough. He never had time to braid his hair or put on a hairpiece. Usually, he left it loose behind him. Prince Jing thought he liked it like that, and never said anything. Gay fish? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Now that he had a hairpiece, Liu stared at the round little fish, lost in thought. Did Prince Jing give him a fish hairpin because his name was Liu? I hate him! Oh, he's so stupid! Prince Jing really did like fish a lot. Liu's earlobes were a bit red. Was he supposed to learn how to tie up his hair now? We're done. We're done. That's the end of the chapter, and we are actually done, but oh my god. I think the worst trope is when gay dudes act straight. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. What an idiot. God, I love him so much. Oh my god, he's so stupid. Oh my god, I just realized that's what the cover of this book is. What? If you've seen the cover of this book, Prince Jing is holding the hairpin, shaped a little bit like a fish. It actually looks kind of crazy. Now that that's a fish, what the hell? Stop trying to act straight when you're so privileged. I know. He's so stupid. Oh my god. He's clearly... Oh my god. That's so cute. I didn't realize that this was the cover until just now. Obviously. I wouldn't have. How would I have known? How would I have known? Anyway, he loves him so much, and oh my god, so the red robes he's wearing, okay, sure, that's what he looks like in this segment, couple of chapters. Actually, there's just one chapter. Oh, two. Anyway, I'm gonna kill myself, so I'll see you later. Except I won't, because I'm gonna be dead. But anyway, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna. But oh man, the next chapter is chapter 60, called Fishy Eats Barbecue. And now I'm hungry. Oh my god, I want beef and lamb. I want kebabs. Oh no, I'm so hungry now. Sorry, I don't blame you. But yeah, that is actually where we're gonna end off stream today, since we finished 4 chapters today. I feel like we've been going longer and longer a bit, like bit by bit. Earlier it was like 3 chapters, and now we've been consistently doing 4 chapters. So I think my throat is just getting better at not hurting a lot, and also I'm drinking better tea, not just like syrup tea, which was very stupid of me, very silly, very stupid of me. Because sugar irritates your throat, as we all know, because we're all super conscious about throat health, I guess. I'm not being. There's an illustration. What the hell? What the hell? They're so cute. No, we'll get to that next time. That is so cute. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Ah! Sorry. I read. No! I read ahead of the chapter name. The chapter name, and the next couple of chapters are going to seem to be quite eventful. So, can't wait for that. On Monday, we will be back. I actually might be streaming tomorrow as well. I drink honey tea when I'm sick. Yes. What do you mean? The art is so cute. I know, it's so cute. I love it so much. Oh my god, I love it. Right. I might be streaming tomorrow. I don't know. I have talked with my friend about playing Baldur's Gate tomorrow. But we may or may not be streaming that. We'll see. I mean, it's Baldur's Gate. What? It's Baldur's Gate. Anyway, actually, I got a DM from him. Okay. Oh, actually, we might not be streaming. He's got locked out of his fucking Twitch account for some reason. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I feel bad for him. But we will be back on Monday to read more. And if you want to look up the next chapter titles, you're free to. But I mean, it seems pretty. It seems pretty eventful. Sorry, I'm looking at the chapter. No, it keeps getting better and better. Oh no. Fish stream again, King. Oh no. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the rest of this book. Holy shit. We're a bit more than halfway through, but we should be able to finish it within like maybe 4 streams? I don't know. We're on chapter 60. Well, 59, 60. And we out of 76, so we should be getting through it pretty fast. Maybe within the next 2 weeks. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Anyway, thank you for joining. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry, I'm too giddy. I don't feel like this a lot. I am too giddy about reading fish fluff. About the fish baby. But yeah, I will see you later on Monday. Take care of yourself. Uh, get better from your cold. I wish you a salad crunch wrap. uh, yeah. I hope you feel better. Um, oh, my mind. I have no brain capacity. Take care of yourself. I will see you later. Bye. Yeah? Yeah, bye. Okay. But I've been realizing that sorry, I keep doing this. I keep doing this. But I've been cutting off my streams since I don't have an ending screen, so I'm just gonna like wait a couple seconds before I end stream after I say bye. Okay. Okay, now for real bye. Bye. 5, 4, 3, 2